answer a question. I was actually making videos anyways, and I saw this question come through, so I thought I'd make a really quick little video on this. On a side note, I want to say thank you to people that are commenting. This is a total side project for me. I really didn't know what would come of it. It was actually more of a stress reliever in terms of my corporate life. I just needed something that was kind of a passion of mine that I could do all on the side and release some of the, you know, tension in my brain from everything three-dimensional. So thank you for anybody that has shared their comments, wisdom, feedback. I love it. Okay, so the question is, can we choose not to participate in karmic relationships, or do we have to decide that pre-birth? Okay, I'm going to answer this to the best of my knowledge. I think that we can definitely, we're all in charge of our own manifestation journey. We're all in charge of our own lives. And of course, if you have had it up to here in terms of life lessons and karmic energies, you are 100% in control of that. Now, that might mean that essentially you might have to put the brakes on a little bit in terms of maybe romantic relationships, maybe bringing a lot of friendships into your life. It may mean that you have to put up some boundaries in terms of where and who you share your energy with. And you are 100% in control of this all the time. And I've gone through some of that same energy recently where I was just giving too much of myself to everybody in every direction, and I was feeling super depleted. Now, again, I was learning a lot of great lessons. I love the fact that I was, being taught at such a deep level that in the first place, I need to set strong boundaries in terms of my mental health, in terms of the energies that I let in, and also what I'm giving to the world. Because when you are essentially giving in an unbalanced way, you start to deplete your auric field, you start to deplete your energy, and you just feel basically in a state of lack. So yes, 100%, if you're in a zone where you need to take a break, put the brakes on, and you just don't want any karmic energies, you're ready to just have a little bit of a rest, that is 100% within your capabilities to create that immediately in your life. Now, if you're in a situation where you're in a relationship and you just don't have the immediacy to walk out the door from it, that can be another thing. But you can also make time within your own life and surroundings to find peacefulness. And you have to be diligent in this. You have to be brave enough and courageous enough to say no. No is a very, very powerful and beautiful word that we can learn to basically dispel or set those energetic parameters around our own beingness that say, you know what, I can't take your chaos in my energy field at the moment, or for an extended period of time. I'm in a cocoon stage, I need to heal. And we go through this kind of ebb and flow energy throughout the entirety of our life's journey. And there are specific times when you will need to cocoon your energy, and you will really need to become or to move into that more hermit mode. And that's not a bad place to be. That's a beautiful place to be. That is paying homage to what your energy needs. That's starting to learn the dialogue of your own energetic field and saying, I need to do what serves me, not what serves everybody else. And I know that in many videos I have discussed the service to others path, but you have to make sure, if you are going to be serving others, that you are in a state of equilibrium, because you really can't teach, you really can't guide, and you really can't lift others up if you are in a chaotic, unbalanced state when you're trying to do those things. So getting yourself into a healing energy or a quiet hermit-like energy is sometimes one of the most beautiful things you can do along your journey to recalibrate everything that you are in your essence and sort of reaffirm that stable, peaceful state within yourself. This question was about planet Earth. Yes, there is a certain amount of catalyst and lessons and things that we do pre-coordinate before we actually pop into a body here. And there are times where you will feel this tidal wave of just pressure and intensity of life, and it seems sometimes maybe like it's never ending, almost to the point of breaking you. And in some cases you may even feel quite broken for a period of time. But in that breaking, in that changing of your, very core soul frequency, not that you can really change your core soul frequency, but you can enhance it. That's the purpose of journeying through lifetimes, is this enhancement and this beautification process of the soul. It is gaining its momentum and reaching to higher and higher expressions of the soul blueprint, of that uniqueness that each and every life form or being is. And part of this beingness that I feel that in some religions isn't quite captured correctly is that the lifetimes, or those that are incarnated in the vegetable kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, those that are in different forms of consciousness are still ascending, they're still learning, there's still huge amounts of growth when a soul incarnates into a life path journey like that of an animal. Okay, I'm not going to get into that too much in this video, but I just wanted to make that distinction that the journey of a lifetime, or the journey of learning in a biological body, is not just for the human being. It is for all life forms. And this is why we also have to learn, as part of the ascension process, the totality of what creation is, the beauty of that all-encompassing display or out manifestation of creation. It is everything, quite literally. It is not just the human beings. So as we journey on our ascension path, we do start to recognize this, that there is a life force in all things that needs to be protected, that needs to be respected. And the more we come to love our own beingness, the more that we can appreciate the life energy in all beings. And I have a beautiful fig tree behind me. I raised this little guy from a little plant, and I am so much in love with all of the natural world. And I feel very, very connected to plants and animals. I feel like I can communicate with them. Again, that's my own perceptive abilities. Not everybody will have this same experience, but I feel the energy of other beings. I'm able to recognize that signature, that frequency that they emit. And I can definitely say that the frequency and the energy field of plants and animals is a lot more high vibrational than most human beings. They understand the principles of balance a lot better than most human beings on Earth. Now, they have a different state of consciousness. It tends to be more calm, and it depends on also what species that you're looking at. There are herbivores, and then there are carnivores, and there are those beings that live in oceanic life, and then there's animal life, and there's reptilian life. There's so many different life forms, and they all have a different type of calibration in terms of where they're at on the consciousness scale. I'm also not going to get into that in this particular video, but what I was stating in terms of the heaviness or the intensity of our karmic path and how we will be able to withstand some of that karmic pressure, which is really just the catalyst and the lessons that we are meant to learn here pre-birth. But also, and I love to kind of quote this little bit of wisdom, God, the divine, the quantum field, whatever you identify with, only gives us what we can handle. And generally, again, we're usually able to withstand quite a lot, depending on if you are a young soul or an old soul. Typically, most older souls will tend to acclimate or integrate a life path that is a little bit more difficult, or they will integrate into a life path that has the potential for a lot of teaching and guidance. So either way, when older souls decide to incarnate on planet Earth, they're here doing work, and they're here usually doing some very serious, intensive work. So if it is intensive work for their own soul's calibration process, the lifetimes tend to be quite aggressive in terms of a lot of catalyst. If they are here in terms of being a guide and a teacher, then they will be working extremely hard on trying to achieve those goals and lifting and teaching as many individual souls that they can. And so usually I find that those are sort of the two paths that, very advanced souls will take when they're coming to planet Earth. Certainly this is not one of the more fun planets. There's a lot of darkness, a lot of contrast. There's also a lot of light here, but due to the contrast, it can have a great amount of catalyst, meaning that there is huge potential for our soul's growth. But within that potential, and because again there's so much in terms of extremes here, it is quite painful. The growth process, the growing pains are intense. And so I really feel that question when there's the individual saying, I want a little peace, I want enough, I've had enough for a little while. And I want to give you some reassurance that if you ask your guides and if you reach out to the divine and spirit and essentially the field itself, and you make an earnest request for that, and you match that request with also your actions and your thought forms. So really making sure that you are thinking about peace, that you are thinking about this gentle detachment into working on yourself and just staying away from any karmic energies, that will certainly be brought towards you. That you will see that out manifest. And it is, again, your job to put up those barriers and boundaries and, hold steady to the agreements you're making with yourself to put up those very, very necessary protective energetic requests. Now, usually I find, because I've gone through, many states of awakening, many opportunities for growth and catalyst in my time here so far on planet Earth, and what I can definitely say is after you've gone through these resting periods where you do sort of go into this bubble and really feel into your own energy, when you're ready to come out of your little energy cocoon, you want to hit the ground running. And in most cases, you want to get right back up on that horse and start to learn those lessons again, or start to teach and guide and really utilize what you've learned. You won't want to be in that hermit stage or that protective energetic stage for too long, because I find it gets a little bit boring after a period of time. You do want to get out there, you do want to share your light, shine your energy, and be around others, okay? And keep in mind that not everything is karmically based. There are individuals that are here that are in your soul family that will just bring you blessings and joy and love and a really dynamic expression of what it is to live and love and, be a part of this journey with others here on the planet. So it's not all karmic, it's not all doom and gloom. I really want to be clear. make you joyful, that lift you up. When you're in their presence, you just feel energized. Really look for those individuals, because those are the souls that when you find them, when you're magnetically pulled towards them and you feel this energetic uptick from them being in your presence, this is so powerful. And you want to make sure that you make time for those that lift you up, because there are going to be those that have that energetic effect on your auric field. So thank you so much for this question. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope everybody's having a beautiful week. Light and love to all of those that are lending their energy to these videos, and I will see you likely in the next video.